So the first thing you do after you sign up to Phase, it's actually quite simple. But before that, I think I should go into this community and just show you what's in the community. So this is the community, and if you scroll down, you will see Learn Motion Design, and there you can take a course, and it's absolutely free. Although you need to log in, you need to join to be able to watch these videos on how to use Phase and how to do animation basically. So back in Phase, you just need to create a new file. Once you create a new file, it's going to just come in with this frame. So you don't actually need to create a, to start thinking about dimensions of the frame. You just have the frame. So I want to create this loading screen. So let's see how we can create that. So just the way it works in Figma, you create your rectangles, right? Hold down Shift to make sure that the rectangle is a perfect square. And then I want to round the corners. Now I'm just going to duplicate this. Now I'm going to group them together, and I want to turn them this way. It's 45 degrees, and I want to center it. Now as you can see, it's bigger than my frame, so if you just click on K, you're going to be able to resize that. Okay, now I'm going to remove the group because I don't need the group to be there when I start animating them. Okay, so I want this to have my blue color, and then I want this one to be the same blue but lighter. So if you look down here, you're going to see this animate mode. Right now we're in the design mode, and you see this animate mode, and you're just going to click on that. If you look at this, you see that they're telling you move this to any point and just change the elements of any shape, anything inside here, and it's just going to animate. It's actually as simple as that. So I'm just going to take this guy to the beginning. So this is what we call keyframes, right? This is keyframes. Moving the keyframe from one point to the other and adjusting anything here is going to make it to animate into that. So you need to actually start from point 0. So this is what I'm going to do. So from point 0, you need to move forward. So let's say I stop at 5. What I want to do is that I want to mark the initial position and sizes. Okay, so you're going to come to this right panel, and if you hover on the width, you're going to see this shape of my rectangles right now, the diamond shape. You're just going to click on it, marking them as keyframes, and you see that happening right here. You do the same thing for the height and the same thing for the position. Okay, so we've marked the position and the size. Now if I move this to this point before making a move, that just means it's going to take, okay, let me say I move it to 1.05. I started at 5 seconds. It's going to take 1 whole second for it to actually make that move. But if I shorten it to take these seconds, this number of seconds for it to make whatever move I make here. So the shorter the distances of the keyframe from point 1 to the next point, the faster the animation. The longer the keyframe, the slower the animation. So I want it to move fairly easy. And just know that you have only 2 seconds to animate every single thing you want to animate. Okay, I want to take this back. I want to start at 0.02. So I'm going to take this to 0.12. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the position. I'll first of all scale them down, and I'll move them from this point to this point. I'll do it again, move it from this point to this point, from this point to this point, and back to its original point. So you can see that has marked this circle you're seeing, this shape you're seeing in the center here is actually the origin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first of all shrink them down. Remember, hold your K, hold down Shift so that they scale evenly. Then I'm going to move it again. This time around, I want to move them from one point to the other. So I'm going to move this to the exact point this one is on. Okay, in order for me to do that well, I need to bring down this. You remember these lines from Figma, just to mark the points where we are. Just make sure that when I start animating, all of them are going to be on the same line. So now I'm going to move this guy from this point to this point. So now that that is done, I'm just going to move them around just exactly the same way. So now that we're here, I want to take them back to their original size. Okay. So if I take that, you see how that moves. You see exactly how that moves. One more thing, you don't want to leave your animations at linear. So I'm going to select all of them, and you can use presets. They're already here, but I'm just going to keep them at ease and change this guy and just adjust it like so. The YouTube videos I watch, they always like so, like so. I mean, some of them anyway. So what that does is that it's going to make it move fluid. Like, it's going to make the movements not robotic. It's going to make them fluid. So, okay, see how fast that is? If we want it to move slower, we're going to have to adjust this length of this positions. But somehow, I don't know the calculation from the start, so I have to finish and then I will adjust accordingly. I mean, everybody has a style. That's how I do mine. I'm just going to do exactly the same thing I did. I'm going to use K to take them down. I'm going to move my keyframe again, and I'm going to rotate again. So when you click, you're actually going to see its origin point. Okay. So I'm going to take them further. Take my keyframe further, and I want to adjust the positions. So now that I've finished doing that and moving them back to the original point, you can see that if I select anyone, it's going to show you that it has moved from this point to that point to that point to that point and back here. So if I click on export, I like using export to see how it's going to move. So when we're done animating, you need to turn off the fill on the main screen so that it looks like this. So when we're done animating, you need to turn the animate mode off and change back to design mode by just clicking this button, and then you can turn off the fill on the frame, on the main screen, right? So I'm just going to click on export because I want to see what the full view looks like. And there you have it. So just change it to GIF and import. And just change it to GIF and export. So this is what we have, and it's looking really good.